Hey, what's going on? It is your girl, Tampa Mystic, and we are live right here on 99.1 FM and ATL. And of course, it is the industry's most wanted podcast.
Industries.
Big industry's most wanted, not the little one.
Wanted.
I do have a special guest checking in with me tonight, and he goes by the name of SNACO, coming from Stone Mountain, Georgia. What's going on, family? How you doing?
I'm doing very good. How about you?
Doing good, man. Listen, thank you so much for being here. We had the opportunity to sit down previously, and I just caught such a vibe with you that I really wanted you to come back and get this exposure over here on 99.1.
Always good speaking with you, Tampa. It's always good.
Yeah, you're a whole vibe.
Sure. You too.
Definitely. Well, give us that official introduction of who SNACO is.
So SNACO is the leader of Lost Souls. He's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, you know. So, and I've always I make sure I keep a tight, close connection with my fans through my music and my art. And you know, I just love to feel like it's more than just music. You know, they're like my fans are more like family to me. So I have a very strong personal connection with my fan base, man. So
definitely, I know that you were born in San Diego, but you grew up in Stone Mountain. Like Stone Mountain is home for you.
Stone Mountain, I'm still in Stone Mountain. Like I love, you know, just visiting every now and then. Like, my grandma still stays there, so. You know, I'll go over there every so often and meet up with friends that I've known for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, that's like my home. You know, that's kind of like where everything started for me. Like, that's where I discovered my love for music in Stone Mountain. So, you know, I stay out there.
No, absolutely. It's like when you find something that works for you, you know, whether it's your living situation or business, you know, you kind of stick with it. You can venture out and go visit other places, but trust me, I get it. I would have never have left Tampa to come here if it wasn't for this music industry, because I love back home, friends, family. So I totally get it.
Yeah, it's home, you know, like food tastes better. You know, everything is just better.
Absolutely, because it's like a comfort zone for you is really what it is.
Yeah, it's a comfort zone for me because I just feel like, you know, like you can't really explain home. You know, it's something that's personal, you know, to each experience or each person's experience. But every time I go back, I'm like, it's like I get to breathe. Like, okay, I'm here again.
Absolutely.
You know?
Do you still have family in San Diego?
Actually, no. I was just kind of just born there. You know? Like my dad was in the military.
Understood.
You know, so we moved around a lot. Like we just did a lot of moving around. I just ended up, you know, landing in San Diego.
Yeah, so no real ties to there.
No real ties yet. I do actually. I have a family member that does live in San Diego.
Okay.
But that was like he decided to move there like after.
Understood.
I was born and everything, and his decision had nothing to really do with me. But I want to actually visit there, you know, and really, because I haven't really been there since I was born there. I want to actually go and just fill it out because my aunt, she used to stay in California, and from time to time she would go to San Diego. She would always say like, "Yo, you would love it in San Diego. You really have that in your blood." Like, and I want to visit and see. Like,
you should. Like you said, even though you know you didn't really have any roots there per se, that's still the place where you were born at.
Yeah.
I've never been either. I've only been to LA, but I heard San Diego is beautiful.
Yeah. I heard
the weather's really nice, you know.
Yeah.
So definitely go out there and catch a vibe. Especially now you said you got family there.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely go to San Diego to see what's up.
Let's talk about the music because you make great music and I want to quote you. You said, "I don't write songs, I write life."
Yes.
And that really that was stuck with me.
Yes.
You know, take us through your journey of starting music.
So I started making music for my grandma, and you know, just also mainly for myself, but there was times where I would get in trouble a lot. Yeah. So I would, you know, have to, you know, sometimes I think my grandma at one time she would make us write. It was either my grandma or my mom, one of the two. But she made us start to like write something, like, you know, write either a story or a song, just something, and then recite it to her before I can go outside. And one day I started just writing songs. Like I started just writing song lyrics, and my grandma was like, "Man, you're actually really good. Like you're actually really good at writing songs." And it became a thing that I just I fell in love with over time. Like it became a point. At some point, I decided like, yo, I don't even want to go outside. I want to stay in and write music. And, you know, when you find something you love, you know, you never feel like you're working a day in your life. So when I decided this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, I wasn't afraid for taking that risk. Like,
yes.
Taking that risk to me it meant everything. So I was like, this is what it's going to be. Like, this is plan A and plan B for me.
100%.
Because this is what I love to do. And I don't want to waste my time on this planet feeling as if I didn't fulfill my purpose, you know.
Absolutely. 100%. And shout out to your grandmother for initiating that, having you sit down and write, because I think that's something, especially in today's generation, that's what a lot of kids have gotten away from. You know, they don't write, they don't read books, they don't do any of those fundamental things that really needs to be taking place in the household.
And that's why you see a lot of, you know, younger people getting in trouble. And it's just because they haven't found their passion, their love for something. Like, you know, I hate to see, like, some of my old friends, they get caught up in the street life and they, you know, end up nowhere good.
Right.
But when I get a chance to talk to them, it's always like, yo, like, just find something that you love. Find something to fight for, to live for, because the streets ain't it. The streets is not it.
The streets are going to wind you up either incarcerated or, hate to say it, but dead. You know what I'm saying?
Or, you know, black or white, you know?
Absolutely.
So, but I'm very, very thankful for, you know, my family for really pushing me. And my dad too, he really like pushed me to pursue this. You know, usually parents, they would be like, oh, make sure you have a backup plan. They did. I was like, make sure you have a backup plan. But, you know, they was like, if this is what you want to do, I support it. You know, I'm not scared. You know, do what you love to do.
Well, I think they know you as a person.
Yes.
They know your character.
Yes.
So they know that when you're serious about something, you're going to go all in.
Right.
And you have talent as well to back that up. You've got the work ethic and you've got the talent to back it up. There's oftentimes they have one or the other.
Yes. And my work ethic is crazy. I get it. I get it from my family, my dad, my grandma, you know, my mom. I've seen nothing but hard workers in my family.
Yeah.
So that's where that comes from. When I'm in the studio, I'm at work, but this is what I love to do at the end of the day. So just yesterday, I think I was filming content with, you know, my manager and getting some stuff done for future, you know, stuff I can't talk about yet, but it's going to be seen. And just before we left out to do that, I had like a 30-minute block window, and I used that time to just make music. I made like maybe 3 or 4 songs within the span of 30 minutes, like, because I you know, when I went over to the office to see him, he was just like, I was like, yo, turn your speakers on right now. He was just like, dang, okay, like, and I was playing some music. He was like, dang, this sounds good. Like, when did you do this? I said, just 30 minutes ago before I left.
Wow.
Like, that's the type of stuff that I'm on. Like, I love doing this, you know, so.
Where do you find yourself at the most when you come up with your creative ideas? Are you at the house? Are you driving in the car? Are you in the studio? Where do you find yourself at the most coming up with them creative ideas?
You know, it's funny because I'm going to say I don't know, not because, like, it's not a specific place.
Understood.
Like, it's very random. Like,
could be in Publix and boom.
I would be sitting there brushing my teeth and I'd just be like, yo, this is a good idea. Let me go record this.
Yeah, I love it.
Sometimes, like, literally, sometimes I would forget to eat. And I have a whiteboard in my room. I had to write on there before when I was writing the album, don't forget to eat, in all capital letters. Like, seriously.
That lets you know how passionate you are. Wow.
Because I woke up, brushed my teeth before, and went straight into my studio and just all day. And I didn't think about it. And then I'm looking up at the time. It's like 9 o'clock. I'm like, oh, snap, I got to eat something.
Isn't that like, though, the best feeling in the world to literally be able to dedicate your entire day to doing something that makes you happy and that you love doing?
Yes. And I'll be honest. I don't make a lot of money off of this. I don't make... Sometimes I don't make anything.
Of course, we all have those periods.
But it's what I love to do. And if my career ends up being I'm selling CDs in the back of my trunk, I'm still successful because I'm doing what I love to
Absolutely.
do. Like,
I couldn't agree more.
I believe right now I'm successful because I'm able to wake up, brush my teeth, and go straight into the studio and do what I love.
100%.
You know?
That is the definition of success, because
Right.
you've gotten to the point to where you're able to do that.
That's right.
That is dope, man. How often are you writing new songs?
Almost every day. If I'm not writing a full song, I'm writing an idea for a song.
Okay.
You know, so I would say almost every day, because my mind, and my grandma would tell you, and I'm sitting there in the midst of a conversation, and she would see my eyes just start wandering around the room, and she knows what's going on. Like, you're thinking about a song idea, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, grandma.
Aww,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
She's like, go ahead. I'm not gonna hold you, because you know she gets motor mouth sometimes. She's like, go ahead. And I just start, you know, writing my songs. It'll happen just like I said, randomly in the midst of a conversation. I'll just be thinking, the other person going blah 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 blah. And my mind's like, yeah, you know, this would be a good idea for a song.
So you really do catch inspiration from other people, maybe stuff they're talking about.
Yes, I had a conversation with an old man, and this is a song that I recorded a while ago, like a while ago. One of my favorite lyrics that I've ever wrote to this day. I was young. It was from this old man that I had a conversation with, and the lyric went, so while we got our children out there living out our parents' dreams, and our parents' dreams are something usually they failed to be, or some sick, twisted way to prove that they are good at parenting. So
that's deep.
That kind of give the gist of the conversation was talking about how a lot of this generation is living with, you know, generational curses.
Yes.
And they're living out dreams that are not even their own. It's their parents. Like, oh, I want my son or daughter to be a doctor.
Yes.
Okay, but what does your son and daughter want to do? Do they know themselves what they want to do? And usually, like I said, it's something that the parent failed to become themselves.
Yes.
So why have those unrealistic expectations on your seed, you know, your future? Which I understand, because it's like, if I failed at music, which it's not going to happen, but hypothetically, some part of me would be like, my son or daughter, I want them to try to do this where I failed at.
Yeah.
You know, like, for example, my little brother, I didn't graduate high school.
Yeah.
You know, I ended up getting my G. I dropped out because I had really bad anxiety.
Yeah.
And my little brother, you know, he was handicapped, so the school system tried to push him into special need classes. So my mother fought like hard.
Yeah. Good
so
for
that
her.
he didn't do that. She was like, no, he is intelligent.
Yes.
He's no different from anyone. Keep him in the regular, you know, system.
Yes.
And I didn't want to see my brother give up. My brother was a fighter. Like, a lot of what I do now is from my little brother's inspiration. And I used to tell him, like, all the time, do not be like me. Like, don't give up on this. Don't get caught up in girls. Don't get caught up in drama.
Yeah.
I said, yo, all that stuff's going to happen later. High school is life, to be honest. It teaches you how to deal with people. So take that lesson, okay, put that to the side, but focus on your academics, because all the other stuff is distractions that'll happen later on in life anyway.
Yes.
So every day I was like, yo, don't be like me. Don't do it. And he ended up graduating.
Good for him.
He ended up graduating. And it was like one of the, like, I was so proud of him.
As you should be. And you and your mother both had a big part in that. Like you said, your mom went hard, you know, to make sure that her baby boy stayed in, like you said, the system of, you know, going to school, not in these special needs classes, because he's super intelligent.
Right.
And some kids, they might just need a little bit more attention, but that doesn't mean that they're different per se. You know what I'm saying? So good for you and your mom for inspiring him.
Right.
And I know the last time we did talk and you just briefly touched on it, you and I both experience forms of anxiety. You know, life is weird sometimes, right? And we deal with it. And I think that you and I really like kind of bonded on that aspect of music. This business is what is our outlet for us. Talk to us a little bit about how writing music helps you, you know, deal with maybe day-to-day anxiety that you can experience.
It helps me stay in the present. You know, it helps my mind stay still, because a lot of the times my anxiety is either I'm stuck in the past about something, or I'm too far off into the future with everything, you know? And when I'm writing songs, I'm either talking about what's happening or what I'm feeling right now, or it might be from the past, but I'm feeling that right now.
Understood.
So when I'm writing that, I am in the present because I'm thinking about how I'm feeling at this moment. And that exercise helps me to get through a lot of my anxiety episodes. I've had times where I was in bigger studios. Yeah. It's still a struggle for me because my mind is in multiple areas when I'm in the bigger studios.
Yeah.
I like to be in home studios because it really grounds me.
Yes.
I've had panic attacks in the bigger studios, but it's something I'm working on because I know this comes with the job. It comes with the career. So I have to be in bigger studios sometimes. But, at some point I want to just be like, hey, I'm going to just build this big studio in my own home.
Yeah.
and start learning everything myself because, but I really, that's where it really grounds me at, just knowing that I'm in the present moment and this is how I'm feeling right now.
Absolutely. And I think that's common with a lot of people because I definitely get social anxiety.
Yes.
That's why I don't go out to a lot of events, especially ones where I don't know a lot of people there.
Yeah.
That's just something I deal with, because I think it's the fact that there's so many different type of energies bouncing around. You don't know where people's heads at, what they got on their mind. Are they going to try something stupid?
Yeah.
So what I typically will do is I have like a couple people that are friends that I call them my safe space. If I have to go out to these places, I make sure one of them is with me because it makes me feel comfortable because I got somebody right there with me. So just know you're not alone. Like I think most people walking around, whether they admit to it or not, have some form of anxiety. I even get it sitting in traffic. It
happens, and it's a part of being human. That lets you know you're human.
Yes.
I'm the same way. I say I relate to that because I don't. Even though I'm at my age, people like to go out and party.
Yeah.
And stuff. Honestly, I don't. I've never really liked it.
Yeah.
I tried to keep up with my friends, but I don't even like to drink. I don't smoke or anything.
Yeah.
I kind of just I'd rather go out as friends with like my group and do something like, let's go to Waffle House.
Me too. Let's keep a clear head,
Right.
Absolutely.
It's just not me. And especially because I deal with social anxiety too.
Yeah.
And I think that rubs people as if, oh, you don't want to talk to me. And I'm like, no, I do. I like people.
Yeah.
It's just hard for me to open up because what if you don't like me? What if you don't like the real me? But it's just a part of being human, I guess.
Listen, that is definitely the human element in us coming out.
Right.
And so, like I said, just know that you are absolutely not alone because there are so many people who experience that, and for me, honestly, the older I get, the more it's in place, and I'm really working on that because I'm like, I want to get back outside a little bit more. But it's like you hear about all these crazy things going on in the world and I'm like, okay, I could just be home and be safe, like it's just, I'd rather just not do it.
I had this moment. Remember I told you I dropped out of school early?
Yeah.
This moment made me realize that it was probably best for me to just get my GED.
Yeah.
I was in school and we was doing like this project where you had to stand up in front of the class and, present your project or whatever. And I remember it was my turn to do it. It wasn't a group thing. So it was just one person.
Right.
And this class was pretty big. It was a big class. And it was my turn. I was like maybe one of the first few people to go up there. And I hate that.
Yeah.
It's just like everyone's paying attention at this time because it's a new thing.
Exactly.
So
it just started.
Yeah. Like people try to figure out how it goes. So I'm one of the first few people. And I remember before I got up in front of the class, I was okay. I was fine.
Yeah.
But as soon as I stood up, I started to feel myself shaking. I felt like I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
And I felt very crippled. I was like, I didn't know what was wrong. But so I went up there anyway because I had to. And I remember I was reading from my PowerPoint and I stopped in the middle of a sentence and I looked out and then everything kind of felt like it was caving in on me. My heart started beating fast. So I asked the teacher, can I step out? I can't do this.
Yeah.
She was like, "Why? What's going on?" And I just told her, "Please, I can't do this."
Yeah.
I remember she let me step out there, gave me a water bottle, and I sat out there for at least 10 minutes. And I was just like, "Yeah, I don't know if I can do this."
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like I gave up on myself a little bit. Probably I felt very defeated.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, like I gave up on myself. I could have fought. Yeah, I probably could have fought harder, but I feel like things happen for a reason.
I agree.
I really do. I feel like what's meant for you, it'll happen.
100%.
It'll happen, So that's something that happened to me. Maybe it wasn't meant for me to go about the school system that way.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm a college dropout, and I tell people I don't encourage it, but it's not for everybody.
It's not, yeah.
And that's why even, here at the studio, I limit how many people can come because I start feeling a little anxious if there's too many people in here moving around that I don't know. And I'm like, I don't want to feel uncomfortable in my own environment.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I see.
I like this one-on-one. This is what I really prefer. You know what I'm saying? It's comfortable. We can have a good conversation.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you being transparent about that because there's more people out there who are dealing with it, but maybe they're afraid to admit to it because they're afraid of being judged. And really, Slick, if more people would come forward and talk about it, it would be more of a norm that, hey, this is just something that happens to people and it's okay. It doesn't mean something's wrong with us.
Right. It's a part of life. And I talk about it in my music too. I talk about it in my music as well. So, like I said, I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I like to give people a shoulder to cry on. And I tell my fans all the time, let me be your diary. Even if I don't respond to a text, just write it in those messages. Just let me be your diary. At some point, I'm going to read it and, help out. There's a few fans. I'm not going to name names, but there's a few fans that their life stories really touched me. There's people out there that's really going through things.
Yes.
And, I don't see a lot of artists that are really actually trying to help people.
I agree on that.
I literally just want to help people. Yeah. And even if it comes to a point when it comes to a point when there's millions of people, I'm going to make sure I take time out of my day to respond to a message, to, meet up with a fan and be their friends, be their friend, because that's all people are looking for now. Someone to listen to them and know that they're being listened to.
Absolutely. That simple conversation, or like you said, maybe meet up with them and shaking their hand or going to lunch or something, could change someone's total outlook on life.
Yes.
Like you could literally save their life.
Right. That's what I want. Hey, I'm their friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm the leader of Lost Souls, baby. Yes.
Let's talk about this record that we're going to play here in just a minute. It's the Untitled 03.
Right.
Are you focusing more on putting singles out from this point forward, or is there going to be an album or a project in the works soon?
Actually, yeah, I'm kind of focused on singles at this moment.
Yeah.
But as far as releasing, but right now I'm working on projects. I'm currently working on projects. So at some point in the near future, there will be a body of work, maybe even two, if we get lucky.
Amazing.
Of some great music. But I don't like to just put out things. I want it to be an experience. I want it to be a visual. So if it takes time, it's for the right reason.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. And you are a phenomenal songwriter.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Have you thought about getting into writing for other artists?
My grandma tells me this all the time. She says I need to do it.
You should.
And I think I will. I've done little things here and there, and like underground artists, and wrote some songs for them. But later down the line, I think that's something I would really dive into, because I am talented with it. I just have to learn how to detach myself from my own personal things and be like, okay, let me just make this song just for the body of work itself and not just about my experiences. So that's something I have to get through. But through time, I'll get it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that would be, for me, the most difficult thing is actually letting go of that piece of work. Because I'm like, man, this is so good. I might want to save it for myself,
Yeah, I'm very stingy. Like, one thing about me, you know, a lot of my friends, hey, if you say one negative thing about SNACO, they'll probably say he's stingy. He'll get the fattest bag of chips. We'll be on a road trip, and I'm just like, nope, it's mine. Do not touch my chips.
I'm like that too. I don't like people touching my stuff.
You're right.
I've always been like that. I just don't. That's why, you know, I've had people want to come in and ask, can they rent out the studio space? I'm like, nope, I don't want people touching my stuff. You know, like what is ours is ours. You know, I don't mind sharing a little bit here and there.
But it has to be a decision that we made before we obtained it, you know? So, I'm stingy a little bit.
Listen, in life, we have to be a little bit selfish. You know,
we have to.
We have to, because people will take advantage of us if we are not.
We just have to, you know, learn to be balanced. I think that's what people should realize. Like, we're put on here as a lesson to learn something, and if we have to be more like the earth, I believe, because if you think about the earth is very balanced.
Yes.
You know, everything has a purpose.
Yes.
There's not anything that's like too big, and the things that are supposed to be big is big, and the things that are supposed to be small is small. Like, just imagine spiders being our size. That would be crazy, right? So everything makes sense. Everything has balance, and I think that's what we have to learn to be more like, just being one with nature and being balanced within ourselves. And then part of that is being honest with ourselves.
Absolutely. Taking accountability and being honest. And I'm with you 100% on that. You know, we talked about before, I'm very much a nature junkie, because that's where I get my energy from, you know, being outside. And people don't think how deep it is, the whole ecosystem. Like, you know, everything has a purpose, everything, and they don't question it. A bee gets to work, you know, pollinating stuff so we can have honey and other things like that. And they don't question or like, I'm not going to work today. They get up and go do their job.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe in reincarnation? And what do you believe in reincarnation?
100%. I do.
Cool.
I think that you and I were each other in another life. That's a deeper conversation.
That's possible. Because I feel like we very, very similar in a lot of ways.
Yes.
I could see that. And you're April baby too, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense too. I was saying that because when I've always thought about this, when my time is up, and I do hope that reincarnation is a thing, because if it is, I would want to be reincarnated into like a tree. And I want to be able to give. I want to somewhere where they traditionally value things like that, like a tree that gives life or something. And something that people can go to and pray and meditate around, and it's like a sacred tree. They probably have a gate around me or something.
I love that.
And you got to have to kind of plan or schedule something to go to it. Nothing you have to pay for necessarily, but I really want to be something like that. And I was wondering, what if you were reincarnated, what would you want to be reincarnated to?
See, I love bodies of water, so I don't know if I somehow could become like a waterfall or something like that.
That would be beautiful. That'd be wild.
Yeah, because to me, that's infinite. It keeps going and going. Yeah. Same thing with a tree. Like some of these trees are so huge out there, we don't know how long they've been there. They could have been there for literally hundreds of years.
They've seen everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but they've seen everything. But yeah, that's actually very beautiful waterfall.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. See, we're going to come back and we're going to be neighbors. You're going to be the trees.
Right, I'll be the tree.
Right next to the waterfall. And I'll be like, what's going on? That is so funny. Awesome. I love the vibe that we have, most definitely. Yes. And I think I told you before, and I'm serious about this, I would love for you to come back from time to time and sit down and do some episodes with me. And let's just talk about real life stuff.
Let's do it. I'm down. You know, hey, we're about to start a podcast.
No, facts. I would love that. I would love that. We should definitely
talk about that. That'll be awesome.
Please.
Yeah, I think we'll touch on a lot of awesome topics that'll help a lot of people.
I agree. Yeah. That's the big thing is it's, you know, too many of these podcasts, you know, and there's no shade, but they're doing stuff for clout, for clickbait. I'm never that person. I'm like you. I want to help others.
Yeah. Even if I talked about this with my manager yesterday. You don't know the value of one view.
Yes.
One view can be a TV in a room, a big room with a lot of people in it. Just watching.
Facts.
You know,
right.
You don't know who's watching. You don't know if that one person is listening to your podcast or watching your video and they're getting emotional to it, crying to it. You don't know the value of one view.
100%.
You know? So that's why I don't even look at the numbers. Like if someone's like, hey, have you seen your numbers lately? I'm like, no, I know that it's good.
It's like, it's like driving yourself nuts, getting on the scale. You keep weighing yourself. It's like, stop doing that.
Yeah, it doesn't make
just
sense.
put the work in.
Just put the work in. Like, I know, like, one of the things that stuck, that made me realize that it's an odd comparison, but I started to look at life like this. I had a dog that passed away, right? And I remember in my dream, I had a dream. Every time a family member or dog passed away, I have a dream about them, and they'll visit me in my dreams. Yeah. And the dog, I was sitting there just venting to her. Her name was Casey. I was venting to her. I was like, yo, I missed you, and I felt like I could have did better taking care of you and walked you more. Just I was crying.
Of course, yeah.
And the dog was able to speak to me, and she was just like, oh, I don't hold any resentment towards you. You was amazing to me. I love you, And then I started holding her. I was like, can I make you a song? It's happening in my dream. I said, can I make you a song? And my dog, she goes, yeah, but I don't want to hear it because I know it's going to be amazing. Wow. And I just felt like that was so, I didn't get it like during the dream, but when I woke up, I was sitting there brushing my teeth, and I was like, oh my goodness. That was the most beautiful quote. Like, that's just goes to show that it was trust there.
Absolutely.
That's how strong the trust was.
Right.
She didn't have to hear the song to know that it was beautiful.
I love that. And that's the thing with animals, man. Gosh, we oftentimes get more attached to them than we do a human being because it's that unconditional love, that loyalty. I've had animals over the year. I actually had 2 cats, and one lived to be 18, the other one 19. I was crushed. I probably cried more when they died than some of the human beings that I know.
It's unfortunate, but it's true though. It's like unconditional love. Let me actually. So if you're with someone romantically, right, and you ask them why do you love me? What would you want to hear from them?
I would want to know that they loved like the good, the bad, the in between from me. Yeah. My flaws, like I would want to know that they love that aspect of me, not purely, not because of who I am or what I do or who I'm associated with. Take all that out the equation. Will you still love me as a human being? That's the type of unconditional love that I'd want.
It's pretty much the same answer for me. When people ask me that question for them, if I do love them truly, I'll be like, well, why do you love me? And I'll be like, well, honestly, I don't have a reason. Yeah. Because if my love for someone is attached to a reason, then is it real love? Because if you take that thing away,
facts,
then is it still love? Well, we have to question it.
Yes.
So, I'll tell someone in the heart, I don't know why. It just is. I just feel it.
Absolutely.
And that's what I want to hear from someone is I just like, hey, I just love you because it's in me.
Absolutely.
To love you.
It's a great answer.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. Well, let's get into this record, Untitled 03. Before we do that, all of our listeners need to know where they can follow you at.
They can follow me absolutely everywhere, Instagram, YouTube, all social media at I'm SNACO. Of course, you YouTube me is just SNACO, all capital letters because it's an acronym. And I'm SNACO. I am SNACO on all social media tags.
Absolutely. I know you have a lot of people that love you, support you. They're a part of your fan base or friends. Who do you want to shout out to or give thanks to?
Oh, boy. Shout out to, my team at A-Level Entertainment, and shout out to my family, my sisters and brothers. I love you guys, my mom, dad, grandma, and aunt. And and shout out to one of my best friend, Tez. We just spoke not too long ago. I love you, bro. And that's all.
Absolutely. And we have to tell people that from time to time.
Yes.
Whether they know it or not, just tell them that, hey, man, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. Because it feels good to hear that.
It feels good to hear. It feels good to say it.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. Well, I love you, bro. How about that?
I love you too, Tampa.
Well, let's get into this record. Can you give me a really dope introduction for it?
It is a song by the Leader of Lost Souls, and it's a love song that wasn't supposed to be a love song.
Let's go. It's your girl, Tampa Mystic. We are live right here, Industry's Most Wanted.